So the devs dropped another gigantic update for us today. It's November 12th, 2021. So I'm going to go through this with you. I already pre-read it for you guys, so I can save you a lot of time by just giving you the highlights as I go through. I'll read some of it, and some parts I'll summarize because, like I said, I've already read it. So this has to deal with all the changes that are coming, server transfers, server merges, PTR, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to go through here, and a lot of it that's very, very interesting. So here we are, update on current issues number 2. This was 1 hour ago when I recorded this on November 12th. Hello adventurers, I'll read their opening statement. Thank you so much for your feedback since we posted the first update on current issues dev blog. We appreciate everyone's interest into our communication and where we are going with New World, and we want to continue being transparent and communicative on how we plan to reach our goals and address outstanding issues. So server transfers, their top priority is fixing there's a bunch of random cases of people not being able to transfer with ghost contracts and stuff, and they're working on it. Certain ones, they fixed it, but there's certain ones with pending contracts that they have to manually go through one by one, which is hell for them, I'm sure, but they're slowly figuring it all out. But the big news is this. There's some huge news in this, guys. So let me see if I'll just read the last paragraph. I know it's in here somewhere. First round of server transfers provided a lot of lessons for us to learn from, and we apologize have been at the expense of some of you joining your friends on a server of your choice. Here's the big part, I think. After transfers have been unblocked and our investigation into these cases are complete, we are looking to provide a second round of server transfers. That makes it sound like free ones, okay? That sounds like free to me, but maybe they'll charge for them. But either way, second round server transfers. Estimated timing is before the year's end, so probably December. So in December, we can get another server transfer if you're not happy with your server. So you guys are not out of luck. You just gotta be a little patient. They'll keep us updated on these changes. Region transfers, they're looking into doing cross-region transfers. They're doing some of the groundwork for it here and there, but it's not like the biggest priority ever. It said, if you are interested in moving your character to a different region, please add your details to this forum post, which I'll link to this main thing that I'm reading right now. I'll link this in the description after the first paragraph, so you guys can just go here and click this yourself. There's a lot of links in this, so I'm not going to link every single link they link to, okay? But they're working on it. They're curious about it. They're going to test it here and there. And they do want it long-term to have it be an option to be able to transfer out of EU into NA or NA into SA or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Server merges, though. This one you guys are really, really going to want to know about. So they are on the horizon. They haven't given a timeline yet, but they're on the horizon. So probably December, my guess would be. So they need to test the technology. It may even be November because of what they're going to say here. The public test realm provides our next opportunity. So tentatively scheduled for Monday morning, which is on the 14th. Of November, they are going to merge PTR servers as another test to keep testing this technology so they can do server merges. When they're ready, there are a few things to look at in order to determine if the world is a candidate for merge, including but not limited to population size and overall engagement. Now, guys, they actually explain how they're going to do this. So, tactically, worlds are merged within a world set. This allows us to streamline blah, 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 and check language recommendations. But there's nuance to these merges, and this is the question everyone's been asking, guys. They're like, wait, is it going to be this way or that way? Once we've identified a world as a candidate for merge, we compare it to existing worlds by reviewing elements like faction representation, overall population in the set, to find the most optimal partner for the world. While we cannot guarantee exact matches, we do our best. Players on worlds identified for merge will be informed in advance of the plan. Players with characters on a merge candidate world will not lose their progress. However, territories will belong to the companies on the partner world, not the merge candidate world. So there'll be a dominant one, and the smaller server is going to get jammed into a larger server, is what they're making that sound like. And the larger server wins out on that, and the smaller server gets totally screwed on territories. For example, if World X is confirmed as a merge candidate and World Y is identified as a partner world, so World Y, players on World Y are not impacted other than the influx of players. Worldwide, I think they meant to say World X here because this didn't sound right. Worldwide territory ownership persists after the merge. Or sorry, no, that's right. But I meant this needs to be, this is World X, I think, though. I don't think Worldwide gets compensated for nothing happening. I think they mean this for World X. I'm not sure, though. But they're saying companies are compensated 50k coin, which is 3.3 times the cost of war for loss of territory ownership due to a world merge. Which, that's why I think that's an X. So they literally just said Worldwide owns the territory. Worldwide gets compensated for losing the territory. I think this was supposed to go in the next paragraph. Next paragraph says World X characters are relocated to Worldwide. Characters, companies, housing, gold, and owned items remain intact, but territory ownership will not persist on the new world. At this time, we are not offering transfers to players after a world has been merged. This position may change as we learn more. So if you guys are in a server and it gets merged, you can't transfer out, apparently, in the short term. Long term, they'll probably change their mind on it, but that's something really important to know. If they give us a second round of server transfers, you better change to a high pop server if you don't want to get forced stuck in one, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of ambiguity there about a lot of details, but anyway, there's been issues with wars can't be declared. I'm sure some of you know invasion's been the same thing. They've recently fixed a bug that made it so if you turned it at the same time, influence was applied wrong. Seem to resolve most cases, but if you are aware of other issues, please let us know. Also, they are looking into displaying a company's contribution percent, so there's more transparency on the progress versus the threshold, but no timeline for this yet. That'll help a lot for people who are confused on, wait, who did enough, who did the most, so who's declaring now. Now it'll be more transparent once they do it, but no timeline, so probably January or something, maybe December. We also received a few reports of players being unable to select a tier of war camp. They're also looking into that. Now, luck. Here we go with another big one. Okay, you guys ready for luck? I actually already knew how it worked, and after reading this, I went, okay, yep, it's actually how it worked. And maybe I'll make a separate video on this, going over this like with actual hard math and showing you, but you might just understand from this, and if you already know, then it'll just reconfirm what you already know. But luck, let's read this. So thanks for your whatever interest. There's two ways: an overall scale that you can think of as a ratio of when things occur as a percentage chance to occur, and a relative scale that has a movable odds range based on other values we add into it. So with method one, anything in the drop list can occur. Your luck stat increases the likelihood of you getting the less common items in the list. So number one, by the way, is monsters and chests. After I've read, that's what this is: monsters and chests. This is like logging and mining and stuff for the most part. I like to oversimplify it. So for the monsters and chests loot model, drop tables are divided up into overall rarities, with rare groups of items living higher on the table. There are entire sets of items that drop less frequently than other sets, and equipment is a great example of how we do this. So there's different families of sets. There's common sets, or not families of sets, whatever you want to call it. There's common sets, family sets, and elite sets, and expedition sets, and then finally named items. There's that many different types of item rolls. Common items are the broadest perk variety. Family sets have slightly more narrow perk variety and higher chance to roll perks. So more likely to just have perks, because the common can often just have no perks. Elites only come from gold bar elite enemies, which is really interesting to know. So elite sets only from gold bar enemies, and they have an even narrower perk roll, so less perks choices, so generally better ones most of the time, and an even higher chance to roll perks, so it actually has the full perks, not just one perk or something. And the expeditionized items almost always roll some perks, and named items always come with preset stuff. Luck doesn't increase your chance to get higher gear score, or roll more perks, but it does increase your chances of seeing items drops that have a higher chance of rolling bonuses. So luck does not control what perks roll on the weapons and armor. All it controls is what set it comes from. Does it come from the common, the family, the elite, expedition, or named? Now, gatherables. These are different. So it uses an and table and all this. You can get this rare thing and that rare thing instead of aura, blah, 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 because it makes sense for whatever reason they're explaining. Additionally, we don't use percentages in our data. We use integer stuff. So here's how I understood it and what they said is true. So this will be the interesting one. I'll read this to you, and hopefully it'll be good enough for you guys to understand if you don't know. For instance, let's roll range on this lets the roll range on regular. I don't even know what the. Okay, sorry, that wording. The roll range is 100,000 because it actually is. Their actual math is 100,000. You have basically 100,000 sided dice, and somewhere above that range, say 105,000, is a chance to get a fish. Although trees don't drop fish. So that is just an example. When you chop that tree with no luck at all, you have a 0% chance to get a fish, because you can only roll one up to 100,000, and you need 105 to get the fish. But if your luck was modified by, say, 10,000, now there's a chance, because you can roll up to 110,000, which gives you a roughly 5% chance to get the fish. If you only increase that luck by 5,000, then you have this insanely small percent chance, because you'd have a 1 in 1. So if you had 105,000 and you needed 105,000 or higher to get the fish, you literally have a 1 in 105,000 chance, which is 0.00001% at the fish. But that's why their luck increases for things like food and equipment, so they avoid cases where your luck value is stuck in an unfortunate ultra low odds kind of thing. And with gatherables in particular, if you guys didn't know this, increasing your gathering skill adds base luck to your roll, with level 200 granting a total bonus of 2,000 to your base rolls. There aren't any cases in the game where not having a luck bonus will... Okay, so basically, every item in the game can be obtained with only your trade skill at 200. You don't even need luck gear on. You can find anything with just trade skill 200. But you can use food and equipment to further increase your drop chances, or even enable some items to drop for your earlier, whatever. You basically can get more items to drop with luck and food and items, because this gets you, trade skill 200 gets you high enough, but only barely high enough. So that's how luck works. You basically have 100,000 sided dice, and increasing luck makes you get more chances of getting the things that you want. So at level 200, you have 102,000 luck. And this is why I always tell people luck food is the biggest thing. And people thought it's gear, but no, that's not how that works. The gear, so say 2% or whatever, say 10% luck. Say you have enough gear on for 10% luck. I'm pretty sure if it works the way I think it does, if you have 100,000 and that's it, so you have the base one, and you have that luck gear on, you don't get anything. Because that luck gear, as to the best of my knowledge, it only increases your luck based off the additional luck that you have. So if you have 102,000 and you have a 10% luck gear on, you have 102,200. Now, I could be dead ass wrong on this, guys, but that was my understanding of it, and from my experimenting with using it, luck food is way more important than the gear, and my yield results have shown that, but maybe it's just total random coincidence. But I did read a guide once from an alpha tester who that is what he basically said, but he could have been dead ass wrong too, okay? So that's my understanding on luck, on how that works. So that's why I think luck food's more important than the gear, but you definitely want all of it. Same for the trophies. Although I think the trophies might add a flat value too, I'm not sure. So they're going to change incentivization for players to join less dominant factions. They currently have two mechanisms in place to give the underdog factions extra influence so it's easier to declare war, and we do not allow players to switch factions to the dominant factions. But soon they're going to make it so you can swap factions every 60 days, which should help people move to the underdog factions. And they're actively discussing ways to incentivize players to join other factions. A couple of the options are discussed are gameplay buffs to underdog factions, and they're thinking about other ones too. Okay, so here's another one that you guys really want to know about. Their stance on exploits. What is bannable? What's actually happening? They've never clarified. So now let's go into what will actually get you banned in New World. So a bug is when a game mechanic doesn't work as intended. There are cases where it doesn't seem very clear, but basically what's happening is a bug becomes an exploit when a player finds a bug and just keeps using it over and over again to get an advantage, like, free legendary gear or kill a boss a bunch of times. Some of you guys might have done the thing where you go to some dungeon, you get a boss stuck in a wall, and it spawns over and over and over again. You keep killing it over and over and over again for super good gear. Yeah, that'll get you banned. That is exactly the kind of thing they say will get you banned. So, for example, a spawn bug, this is where they're getting the example from, I know because they've responded to it in the forums before and I saw the post. Say there's a particular creature that only spawns once an hour. A player stumbles upon a sequence of actions that cause the creature to spawn instantly. First time it happens is a bug. But if the player starts going through the sequence many times to spawn the creature and kill it for loot, they've become exploitive, using the bug to gain loot faster, get faster loot access than a regular player would. So then, it's common sense. If you're asking how many times, blah, 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 then you're already in exploit territory. They can't do a blanket rule because there's just too many variations to cover of what is a bug and what is an exploit. So how do they penalize people? Well, usually what they'll do is they will temporarily ban you at first. Then they'll switch to permanently banning you if you come out of that temporary ban and just go right back to it. Just keep doing it anyway, don't even care. And then if there's really bad cases where it was just somehow it really was just absurd or crazy or gold duping and stuff, they'll just fully ban you right off the bat. Which they ban thousands and thousands of accounts for gold duping, by the way, guys. And a lot of people say they give them temp bans, but for the best of my knowledge, they all got perma-banned. Most of them. Not all of them. Some got away with it, but most of them got perma-banned. Both of these issues are separate from using third-party software. Third-party software is not a bug. It's just a hardcore breach of TOS, and you'll get fully banned. So that's some clarification on bugs and, getting banned. Quest and quest design. They're looking to make quests more dynamic and not as bland. And make things not as difficult for certain ones that are just kind of just oddball, like, wow, why is this one so much difficult than everything else? So they're adding new task types, more enemy variety. Major enemies will now not be as absurdly difficult. The Well Guardian, if any of you guys are familiar with that. New quest and quest givers spread out across zones. New and improved quests and new high-level quests, by the way. Big drop there of news. So, some quest gating improvements to allow for more optimized travel times, tracker and map updates to accommodate some of this. New storyline associated with Vangarian Knights, which will play out further in future releases. And new presentation methods to highlight major story moments in the game. They'll soon be testing... We will also soon be releasing new quests to progress the main storyline through the showdown with the Tempest, along with some hints about where the main story will go in the future. So there's also big stuff coming in the future as far as expansions, I guess. Additional all these changes, working on broader quest strategy, is evolving. It's different than MMOs, elements survival, territory control, crafting the game's strongest features, and that's some of you called out the quests. Could be better integrating these system activities, and that's one of their guiding principles in the new quests, and they're hoping to add in the new year. So next year, they're going to keep on working on quests and making them more reasonable. Trade quest skills, we'll be adding new quests and storylines based around people's trade skills, like mining and leatherworking and cooking. So that'll help, give some variety here. Weapon masteries quests, they're looking to add a new series of quests associated with each weapon type. And then new expeditions and features. So all the data mine stuff about new expeditions, probably right. All those expeditions are probably real then. They're looking to add new expeditions and features. And the features, I guess, would be that game mode that all we know is the name of it. It was called like Dungeon Mutation or something. I'm assuming it's like different difficulty dungeons. I don't know. They're looking to test all that in the coming months. Introduce new stories and quests. We hope these goals are in the direction are inspiring you. They're doing their best, and they are looking forward to exploring the world of Eternum over many years. So they aren't giving up. No matter how much you guys say, I'm done and I quit and I hate the game, they don't care. They're going to keep on moving forward and doing their best to make it a good game, which I'm, power to them. I'm happy about that. Representation, character, customized design. They're talking about aesthetics. They always try to go really hardcore with what they're doing, even if it makes it seem really just outlandish and silly, basically, is what they said here. They're trying to create more and more aesthetics, so you have more choices of how you look, different things that can fit into masculine and feminine, different styles and things, and just different looks at warm wild body types. And their goal is for players to be able to create a character that they can relate to and that fits the personality they want their character to convey. Which also, didn't say anything directly about buying things in the store or changing your character's looks or anything, but this makes me think that they're open to that, and someday they will probably have features like that, because apparently it's a big goal of theirs to let you be able to represent yourself how you want. So the minimap debate, this one was already covered in my other video. If you're not familiar, basically, Overwolf won't get you banned. You can download Overwolf and it won't get you banned, except for the fact that Overwolf will get you banned, because if you download Overwolf, it'll get you banned. It didn't make any sense, but they claim that that no one has been banned for using the minimap mod from Overwolf, which I don't know if that's accurate or not. Could have sworn people did, but maybe I'm wrong. But the main problem with this debate was you can download Overwolf, it's okay, but the minimap can only show players' positions, and it can show folks in the group as we do on the compass. It can only show node placement if you unlock that node via trade skill, provided is within the range of the compass will allow them to display. It only shows AI that you've unlocked via trade skill as compass within the range of the compass, and show quests as they do on the compass. Overwolf doesn't do any of this. You can turn it off, so all you have is player position. You can do that, but as far as to the best of my knowledge, all that they can see, though, is what Overwolf pulls, which is this. They have no idea if you're doing this from a data standpoint. So if you are doing this, I don't know that they have any way to track it, but you are breaking the rules with a bannable offense. After they just said that, you will not get banned for using Overwolf. That's why this one was like a big, what? Excuse me? But you guys do what you want with that. If you want to use Overwolf, use it. If you want to use Overwolf just to show your position, then you do that, because that's what they said is okay. But I just don't know. It's the most, contradictory thing in the universe. So that's the Overwolf one in a nutshell, the minimap one. Company concerns, want players to be able to change the world, but also risk of bad actors. They tried to use that power for self-gain. Tried guardrails, but, putting cap for player coins at 500k. Ability set withdrawal limits for lower ranks. But there are a few cases of people abusing things. So in the future, they're trying to give players more information. So this is big news here. A company ledger. God, that's so necessary. Guys, you have no idea how important that is. A company like, console or a governor. And there's also more ways to control access, like the ability to choose company permissions, which would be really nice, like who can withdraw and who can't, and be able to create more categories instead of just settler and officer, consul, governor. There needs to be more, some kind of more to that. So they're working on it, but those changes are lower priority versus some of their other initiatives. Combat responsiveness, I've already had a video about this, and they're going through war, territory control. They're going to make weapons more responsive, make so weapon swaps actually work correctly, try to get rid of all the bugs and things, try to fix all the perks, fix all the gems in their November release if they can. They're also going to fix a bunch of different things with dodges and attack inputs and all this. So there's a lot going on. It'll probably break a bunch of stuff, but they're trying to fix all this stuff. That's a pretty high priority to them. Weapon balance changes. So guys, all the weapon balance changes on the PTR are for real, and they are going to be in the November release. The ability, our goal for this was to boost up abilities and weaponry that we felt were being underutilized while addressing a few individual overperforming abilities, which they didn't actually, address gravity well at all, or Warhammer's crazy CC. Instead, they just nerfed mages, basically, is the takeaway from that. And they also buffed rapier and bow and musket, if I remember right. Though they nerfed one bow ability, but I think they buffed a bunch of other stuff. And I don't know. You can go into that also. There's a comprehensive list of updates right here for that. If you guys go to this page, you can just go to that link yourself. Weapons and armor perks. They're trying to fix that weapons and armor perks, which I thought was in the last paragraph. I guess right there. Public test realm. There's a public test realm, but on Monday the 15th, they'll be testing server merges. Keep an eye on the PTR section for that announcement. Void Gauntlet's coming out, but I'm sure you guys already know about that. It's all about buffs and debuffs, and it's good for group combat. Here's stuff about that. And finally, with crafting and gathering. And this is really interesting, guys. If you watched my thing about making money from honey and buying the honey, so we got some news about that. We are aware that some materials needed for crafting legendary items also are the Arcana one. I think might be addressed in here. Yeah, the Arcana one's addressed in here. So this is actually a really big one, guys. It's really, really big. We are aware that some materials needed for crafting legendary items are dropping at very low rates. These include beeswax, runic thread, etched handguard, embossed wrapping, and empowered counterbalance. We have an upcoming patch that will address most of these items, and beeswax will be addressed in a later update. Which means, guys, that honey thing is going to be pushed off till either the end of November or early December. Even though the beeswax is on the PTR, it's not going to be pushed through until later. Now, there's another reason this is really big news. You know those crafting changes that they haven't even said anything about? That's on the PTR, but that means it might not go live with 1.06. It might go live with 1.07 or 1.08. Apparently, they are going to split up the changes. Even though the PTR has a crap ton of changes, they are going to roll them out in different segments, not just all at once, is what that makes this sound like. So you guys might have more time to get that crafting up, assuming they even go through those changes at all. Now, as for the honey one, if you want to keep buying honey and keep collecting honey to get ready for this update, you're going to have even more time. You're going to have like 2 weeks instead of 1, or 3 weeks instead of 1. So that's something important to keep in mind there. Here's one that a few of you will be really happy about, though. We are also aware of an issue with crafted magical weapons, the Arcana skill, that prevents them from being crafted at 600 gear score. This is due to one of the ingredients not applying gear score bonuses. We have fixed this in a future update by introducing an additional core material, for example, leather or wood, that can be used to add the additional gear score range required to reach 600. So they say it's going to come out in future update, so I'm guessing not the November release, so that probably won't come out till the end of this month or early December is my guess, but I could be wrong. Oh man, that was a long read. I'm glad I read that for you guys. If I read that verbatim, we'd only be halfway done by now. It is a lot. It is a lot to go through. So yeah, big takeaways here. Let's go back through. Server transfers are almost done. They're almost done with it, but they're going to give a second one that's probably free. Regional transfers, so you can go out of EU to NA. Server merges. There, basically one server just gets totally crapped on, and they get some gold to compensate for it, and the other server just wins out, is how they're going to do it. War can't be declared as being fixed. Luck was explained in more detail. Basically, rolling 100,000 sided dice, you increase the size on the dice by adding more stuff. More incentives to players to join less dominant factions coming soon. Stance on exploits, already went through that, just don't abuse a bug over and over again, or else you're, but what is a bug? I don't know. It's still ambiguous, but they made it slightly less ambiguous. They're working on quests, making quests less boring and like not the same thing over and over again. Want to work on customer characterization and customer character customization in the future, making so there's more options. Minimap, we already went through. Overwolf will not get you banned, but Overwolf will get you banned apparently. Very confusing, but Overwolf they claim is okay. Company concerns, combat response, working on combat responses, weapon balance changes, change a bunch of weapons, nerfing the hell out of mages and buffing rapier and random DPS things. Gonna fix all the perks. Gonna merge the public test realms to test them out, test out server merges, and then Void Gauntlet's gonna be buffing, debuffing, crafting, gathering. Okay, that's all that. Man, that was a lot, guys. That was a lot. I'm really, really glad that they do this, though, to be honest with you. I've never seen an MMO dev team so good. That's so good. I love that we can go and once a week they can give us a real update on what is happening with the game. We can read it, and we have an idea of what is going on in the back end. Are they listening to us? They are listening to us, and we can get a better idea of what they think their priorities are. And just, you guys, if you want to help make this a better game, you go to those forums. You make an account, you go to the appropriate sections, you give feedback. If enough you give feedback, they listen. It helps them make their decisions on what things they want to change first. What do they want to work on in what order? It helps to guide those decisions. They have certain ones where they take executive action and say, we are no matter what going to do this first. But if enough of you guys are going there and saying certain things, it makes them more likely to prioritize one thing instead of another thing. So if you want to make the game a better place, you should go to the forums and, be part of the community. All right, well, I know it was a long one. I hope you guys stuck it through with me. Now you know what's going on with the new dev update, and I will keep you guys in the loop if any bigger news breaks or any other big news breaks. I'll keep you up to date with patch notes and guides and tips and stuff. If you haven't already subbed to this channel, you should consider subbing to this channel. I post guides, I post tips, I post news. I keep you guys in the loop. I keep you guys up to date. I do the math for a lot of this stuff and help you guys understand the game better. So I'm always trying to post helpful New World videos at least once, twice, and usually up to 3 times a day. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. But that's all. Now you know what's going on with the dev update. Now you know, have a better idea of the roadmap for this game, and I'm sure in a week or two we'll get another roadmap, and we'll keep this up for the rest of the time, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as long as I can. So that's it. That's the dev update about the November release. This was November 12th, and we'll probably have another one next week or the week after, and I look forward to seeing that too. It's looking to be a good game. They're looking to make good changes. I'm really excited about the future of this game. And yeah, that's it for the November 12th dev update. So now we know what's going on. Server merge, all stuff, man. It's gonna be crazy, but I'm looking forward to the future of New World.